Welcome to Let's Roger That. I'm Jill. Today it's time to complete the installation of that spindle light on my mill and then testing out and make sure that everything is going to fit properly going up and down with the spindle and the head. So let's get to it and let's show you how I've done this. Now I'm just going to show you, of course I used the variable power supply to do the test in the previous video. Here I'm going to show you how to actually use any old power supply. This is a 9 volt, and although the lights are 12 volts, you know, a 9 volt power supply actually puts out around 14.5 volts DC. So here you go. Here are the specs. Can you see that? Okay, so what I did is I cut off the tip. Means nothing to me. So this is DC power, so you got positive and negative. So I'm going to show you what I did. Okay, plug the power supply, make sure the contacts are separated. My multimeter is on 20 volt DC. And as you see, I've got about 14.5 volts, right? So I've marked this one with a little white tab. I know which one's positive. All right, turn off the power. So now, time to do a little bit of soldering. This is your typical on and off switch. It's got 3 tabs at the back, right? And as you probably know already, I'll show you the switch when it's turned on. So the switch would be up. Then the 2 bottom tabs at the back are actually activated. Okay, they're connected. They're closed circuit. So that's where I need to put my stuff. So what we're gonna do is you always put the live on the interrupter. So the negative can be connected direct to the light, that's not a problem. But this positive will be connected through the switch, so I can turn it on and off. All right, so now I need the light. Let's go get the light. Cut that at around 3/4 by 1/2 inch. All right. Okay, when you do this sort of thing, there's plenty of things to trip you up. So for example, if you were to solder all your wire, then you'd realize, oh my God, I can't fit that in there. So what I suggest you do, fit your switch into whatever receptacle you build. Okay, so you install, let me zoom you in a bit. You've now installed your switch. So no chance of tripping yourself up with this process. So now, as you can see, I'm a hole drilled and all that stuff. Now what I need to do, clearly, is I need to solder the positive, right? The positive to one of those tabs. And then the positive of this one to one of those tabs. And the negatives will go together. Now, before you get all wound up here, you're going to put any shrink wrap on your wires, you need to do that ahead of time, all right? So, let's put some of that here, pass it along. Okay. Wire through. We know we're going to do that one directly onto the other negative. So no problem there. Okay. Lovely. All right. So that's connected. So use that like that. What's going on? Residual power somewhere. All right. So there's that. Done. Clean up anything that needs to be cleaned up. Voila. Bring the heat shrink over the connection and just shrink it down. Never use a tip, by the way. It's bad karma. All right, that's done. Now, my friends, we need to solder these two positive wires onto the bottom tabs. Now, before you do that, get all wound up and excited. It's always good practice. Put a little bit of solder on your connector first. And the reason I do that is because it can be a whole lot easier later on. Now, I could have used one of those clip-on type connectors, but then I'll never know. If I have a, an open and whatnot, I won't know where it is. This way, I always know what's going on. All right, and the tip. Now it doesn't matter, but top, bottom, whichever you put, where you put this one. Okay. All right, done. Now, do the other one. You notice I'm putting them straight back. Yeah, because I like to be organized. All right. Okay. Here we go. Take the time to solidify. Make sure you don't move while you do that, so you don't end up with a cold solder joint. And that is it. We are now done with that. So I'm going to test the system. All right, switch is on at the off position. Plug the power supply in. Voila, we got a circuit. Okay, all right, so you saw me solder the wires earlier. One of the things I forgot to show is that you need to isolate those wires. So I used some shrink tubing just to make sure that the live wire is not going to get shorted by some chip or whatever is going to fall or come flying at it. And that's it. So don't forget to do that, or completely enclose the switch. That's even better. Okay, so I'm preparing to install everything. Just do the simple stuff first. Put the light onto the spindle. Wires facing back. There you go. So putting magnets on, by the way, was a suggestion from somebody on the Facebook group. Fantastic idea. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I'm going to install this on my lifter. The reason for that is that as the head moves, it'll follow. So no worrying about, wires getting problematic on you, on me. Put that little screw in there. Done. Screw that in. All right, so I've installed my switch and made sure that my wires were going to be long enough to extend down with the quill. From here it's no problem because the whole thing moves together, but the quill is definitely something to consider there. So I just have to tidy up the wiring And that'll be it. Okay. And the rest I will clean later. So let's check our system. Power supply here, into the outlet, switch on, done. That's it. Okay, let's test the system. I'll raise that. Looks good. Put her down. All right, lower the quill. And that looks all right. There, bottomed out, no snags, no problems. So there you have it, folks. I hope this little demo was useful to some of you. And thanks for watching. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Please like and subscribe, folks. And we'll see you in the next episode of Let's Roger That. Take care.